In this lecture, we are going to discuss three different options, and they are step, animate, and orientation. You can decide the size of interval or step the slider should take between the minimum and maximum values. So by default, the value of step is 1. That is, if you just click your mouse, it will move one step. See, 2, 3, 4, 6. If I click here, it is 20. So it is taking one step actually. Okay. Now suppose you want to increase this to 5. So you can write step as 5 and see the difference. Save, refresh. Let me click here. See, it is moving 5 at a time. It is not moving. See, 10. If I click somewhere very near, nothing will happen. But if I click here, it is moving 5 steps each time. So you can decide the size of interval or step the slider should take between the minimum and maximum values using the step option. So each time it is moving 5 steps. If I click here, see, it will be a multiple of 5, right? Now it is 45. Now it is 60. Now it is 75. Suppose we specify the value as a number which is not divisible by the difference between min and max. Here I haven't specified any value for min or max. So it is 0 and 100. So the difference is 100. Suppose I set the value as 55. What will happen? You will get some strange results. Let's see that. Refresh. It is at 0. Suppose I click here. See, it moves to the end. It is displaying 55. So make sure that the value you set for the step should be correctly divisible by the difference between min and max values. If I set 50, it will be okay because it is divisible by 100. Refresh. Let me click here. See, it moved to 50. Let me click here. Nothing happened. 100. So you need to make sure that the value you set for step option should be correctly divisible by the difference between min and max or the range. Now the other option we are going to discuss is animate. Animate decides how the handle should move to the new position. Now suppose I remove this, okay, and see how it moves. Refresh. Let me click here. It is like jumping, right? So we can make it as an animation using the animate option. Let me set its value to true so that it will move to the new position with the default duration. So let me refresh. Let me click here. See, it is moving like an animation, right? So the value of animate actually can be a boolean, a number, or a string. You can specify as fast or slow so that it will move quickly or slowly. Refresh. Click here. See, it moved quickly. Suppose I set the value as slow. It will move slowly to the new position. Refresh. Click. See, it is moving slowly, right? Suppose I set the value as a number. It will be the duration in milliseconds in which it should move to the new position. That is, the handle should move to the new position. So now it will move in 10 seconds because we have specified 10,000 as the value. So let me refresh. Let me click here. See, it is moving slowly and it will reach the new position in 10 seconds. See, it reached the new position in 10 seconds. Suppose I refresh and click here. It will now move very, very slowly because it should take 10 seconds to reach the new position. So the value of animate can be boolean value, that is true means it will move to the new position with the default duration. It can be a string like fast or slow. It can also be a number in milliseconds, that is the duration in which the animation should be completed. So this is the animate option. Then the third option is orientation. In fact, we are seeing the slider horizontally, right? The minimum is at the left and the maximum is at the right. Instead, if you set the value of orientation to be vertical, the slider will be displayed vertically with the minimum at the bottom and the maximum at the top. So the default value of orientation is horizontal. We can change it to vertical if we want. I don't want this. Okay, and orientation, let me set its value to be vertical. Now let's see the difference. Save, refresh. See, now it is displayed vertically, and this is the minimum point and this is the maximum point. Suppose I click here. See, the value is 54. Though it is very small, it represents the range between 0 and 100. If I click here, it is 87. If I move to the maximum, it is 100. Minimum is 0. So you can change the orientation of your slider using orientation option, and its value can be vertical or horizontal. So we have seen 3 different options in this lecture, and they are step, animate and orientation. Step is used to decide the size of interval or step the slider should take between minimum and maximum values. The value of step option is 1 by default, and you can change it to a number, and it should be actually divisible by the range. Otherwise, you will get some strange output. You can animate the movement of the handle using animate option, and if you want to have the default animation, you can set its value to a boolean value that is true. You can also set string values or numbers for the animate option. That is, string means fast or slow and number means a duration in milliseconds. Finally, we can display the slider vertically using the orientation option, and its value should be set to vertical if we want to display the slider vertically. And if we display it vertically, the minimum value will be at the bottom and the maximum will be at the top. So these are the 3 different options discussed in this lecture.